Come on in, show. Welcome back. Second segment. ShakeBack Sports Show. BGCSports Network. Just when you thought it was over. Instrumentals. Come on with it. Second segment of the ShakeBack Sports Show on the BGC Sports Network. Welcome back in. It's your boy Willie Epting Jr. Hold it down, baby. You already know what it is. Thank you guys out there for continuing to roll with your folks. My boys, my knockers, they are not in for this episode. That, of course, is Dwayne Sutton and Donny Epting, the Woe and the Cap. Look, I've invited people to come on to the show should they want to come on with me, because there are some things that I want to just allow the audience to take over. It's called the takeover, the ShakeBack Sports Takeover. So if you are on Twitter and you see this, or if you are on Facebook and you see this, click the link pinned at the top of my page on Facebook as well as on Twitter. And look, you can come on in and join the conversation with your boy. And we just going to have some fun like real folks. But anyway, just in case you missed it in the first segment, yes, the NBA playoffs, they are continuing. And I don't think the Lakers are going to be much more are going to be able to survive much more after what I saw in Thursday night's contest against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I touched on that. Of course, the New York Knicks. And then we're going to get to the Boston Celtics, namely Jaylen Brown, and what did he say here in just a moment. This second segment, it is being brought to you by us. Who's us? We's us. Who's we? We's the Big Game Christian Sports Network. Thank you guys out there for tuning in to the hottest future forward online sports network in the collective galaxy, the BGC Sports Network. Hashtag BGCSN1 and hashtag BGCSN2. Please stream us while you work, cook, or clean at home on Alexa by saying, Alexa, start BGC Sports Network, and you will find us there. All right, to the dopest engineer on the planet, Big Day. What is going on? NBA fans, or in particular, Boston Celtics fans, I need you guys to step to the stage because I have some questions. I have some questions about your superstar in Jaylen Brown and what in the world is it that he's thinking of when he said what he said on his podcast after the 76ers came back from a 3-1 hole in the first round and beat the Celtics in the Garden in Game 7. I have some questions. But before we get to that, though, let me just shout out a couple things real quick. Last year, I was able to do this with a different mindset and a different heart and a different spirit altogether. As we know, this is Mother's Day weekend. And Patrice, the mother of, or the matriarch rather, of our family, of course, is in heaven. And this is the first Mother's Day celebration since she's been gone. Baby, happy Mother's Day to you in heaven. And we holding it down here. As a matter of fact, the boys and I went to eat lunch today on Friday rather, and we laughed and talked and joked and laughed some more and ate and just had a good old time. And so shout out to the boys, Jalen, Cameron, and Blaze for coming through and us going to eat. But anyway, back to Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown said after the Game 7 loss to the Sixers that Joel Embiid is a flopper. I got a strong opinion about this day in the NBA, rather. Jaylen Brown said that Joel Embiid is a flopper, and he basically complained about how he doesn't get the calls that he feels he should get. Whether that's true or not, I am not here to debate that, because every star / superstar has had to go through those growing pains. Now, I understand that Jason Tatum is a multiple-time All-Star. I understand that he is a multiple-time NBA All-Teamer. I understand that he is an NBA Finals MVP. But still, all these guys have to go through this at some point or another. So I don't know if you guys heard what he said, and I wish I had the sound, but I do not have the sound. But where I'm going with this is not so much of what he said about Joel Embiid. It's about what he said in terms of this being his favorite season of his career. Now, we all know, or at least we should all know, that Jason Tatum, who injured his Achilles last year in the playoffs, had been out for the good majority of the season. And he came back a couple weeks before the playoffs started. And he looked, you could tell he was obviously not the same Jason Tatum. And that's to be expected, because there's a certain level of mindset, creativity, and just going through it in order to be able to get a player of that caliber back to where he was pre-injury. And it doesn't matter much to people, or some people anyway, that he may have come back a little too soon from an injury that usually takes anywhere from 12 to 15 months to heal from. Okay, Jason Tatum came back from it in 289 days. Who's counting? But with that being the backdrop, right? With that being the backdrop, why in the world would Jaylen Brown say such a thing after a loss? Why would he say such a thing after a loss in which the Celtics, who pretty much overachieved all year long and secured the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, why would you pick that time to say that? And I understand that some of it may have been an emotional outburst, if you will, because they had just lost to a team that they're probably better than. They had lost to a team that they have dominated pretty much the last several years. They lost to a team who had never in their history come back from a 1-3 deficit to win a series. I get that. But what kind of waves are you making, not just in the city, but in the locker room? What kind of waves are you making with the front office of the one of the most storied franchises in all of sports? What kind of waves are you making with your tag team partner? Now, Jaylen Brown is no dummy. He went to the University of California at Berkeley. He is a smart cat from all accounts. You don't get to go to UC Berkeley with a 2.5 GPA. You might have that in one half of a class, but not for an entire semester. So here's the question. And we know that Jaylen Brown, or let me put it this way, because I don't know anything. I've heard that Jaylen Brown rubs people's elbows or rubs people the wrong way in certain circles. Be that as it may, have we ever seen Jaylen Brown on a major endorsement deal? Does he have a shoe deal? And who is this shoe deal with? Is it with Nike? Is it with Adidas? Do we ever see him on any national spots as far as auto dealers or automakers, rather? What about technology companies? What about restaurant chains? Haven't seen any of it. Jason Tatum's there. Giannis Antetokounmpo has been there. LeBron James, Anthony Davis even. But why haven't we seen Jaylen Brown in such circles? My theory is that he does not necessarily go with the flow. He's not necessarily a follower. He continues to march to the beat of his own beat or his own drum. That may be some things that has contributed to the ideology or the perception that's around Jaylen Brown. Great player, great player. Cannot argue against that. As a matter of fact, many people have had the estimation that he's actually better than Jason Tatum. And we've seen Jason Tatum disappear in some of the bigger moments. But Jaylen Brown, when they won the championship against the Dallas Mavs a couple years ago, Jaylen Brown gave it to the Mavs both offensively and defensively. He made Luka Doncic look like me in that series. So what happens next? What is next for Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics? I don't know. This team is really, really deep. They played some of the best basketball they could play while Jason was out. He comes back, and many people say that he upset the apple cart with the chemistry. I don't know about any of those things. I can tell you what I see from the periphery, and it doesn't look healthy out there for that entire culture, if you will. Now, I know Brad Stevens, he's the head man in charge there in the front office up there in Boston. And their head coach is one of the best head coaches in the game. But when you have a star that is the caliber of one Jaylen Brown, and he exhibits this type of, I won't even say behavior, because this is just who he is from all accounts. This is just who he is. So what's going to happen next? I mean, I want to put a poll out on Twitter immediately following the show at SHKBKMEDIAGRP. Are the Boston Celtics better with or without Jason Tatum? That's the question. And do they need to build around Jaylen Brown? Or has Jaylen Brown ruffled the feathers so bad that he may be the odd man out? Only time will tell. Okay, so let's get back to some other stuff in the NBA, because I talked about this a little bit in the second segment, right? The Lakers, or I'm sorry, in the first segment. This is the second segment. In the first segment, can we just stop it with JJ Redick and the Lakers and how they have pretty much fooled us all? Because even without Luka Doncic, even with a hobbled Austin Reeves, too many people put this team on a particular pedestal. And I was like, yo, what makes y'all think that the Lakers are going to really do anything in the playoffs, especially without Luka? Now, the game, or the series rather, against the Rockets was a bit of a referendum, if you ask me, because there was no Kevin Durant. And the Lakers were, you could say that the Lakers were pretty much under the gun, simply because there was pressure on them after having gone up in what seemed to be an insurmountable lead in the series. And then folks started talking, well, what happens if the Rockets, without Kevin Durant, upset the Lakers? Well, there wouldn't have been an upset, because the Lakers were actually the underdog. Donny, Dwayne, and myself all picked the Rockets to sweep the Lakers. But this was before, of course, we knew that Kevin Durant was going to be injured the way that he was, especially with no Luka and no Austin at that particular point in time. This team, I can tell you exactly what this team needs. This team needs for JJ Redick to unretire and come off the bench and be able to throw in about 3 or 4 3-pointers a game. That's what this team needs. This team needs a player that can hit the J from the land of 3. Now, JJ Redick ain't, you would never confuse JJ Redick for a defensive player of the year candidate. So that's not the only thing that this team needs. This team needs a whole lot of more stuff. And yes, I said it that way because that's how I wanted to say it. This team needs a whole lot of more stuff. In particular, to get more athletic and younger. Because LeBron James at 7,306 years old ain't it. Although what we saw in the Houston series were glimpses rather of the LeBron that we once knew, going back to the ending days in Miami. I'm sorry, in the ending days in Cleveland the first time, and going into his stint in Miami. You know, remember, not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, so forth and so on. Yeah, that. The Lakers are going to be the Lakers are going to get worse before they get better. Let's just call a spade a spade. They are. And for longtime Laker fans like myself and Dwayne and the big homie out there that works for ESPN, Damian Woody, and so many others of us that are diehard Laker fans. When LeBron does finally decide to leave or hang him up or whatever, that will be the point in time in which the Lakers can potentially become contenders again. Simply because LeBron, even at 763 years old, still commands a lot of attention, not just on the court, but off the court. And I think for fans need to understand that there's going to be a lot of breaking of some eggs in order for us to get to this perfect omelet that we want to eat. And it's just not going to happen next year. It may not even happen the year after that. And when you think about LeBron and his influence on the franchise, because we all know that if it wasn't for LeBron James Sr., Bronny James would not even be there. And I did think it was kind of cool that Bronny was able to throw an alley-oop to his old man in the game, in the playoff game. First time, obviously, that has ever happened. That was cool. It makes for a good story. But as fans, man, we don't want good stories. Now, as the media, we want great stories. But as fans, guess what? We don't want that. We want championships. We want to tie the Boston Celtics for the most chips in the history of the NBA. So while the story is cute, the championships are handsome. While the story may smell good, the championships smell phenomenal. And that's what we want as fans. All right, come on back on the other side of the break. We got more to get to. Some more NFL, of course. To the dopest engineer in the game, Big Day. Of course, Dwayne and Donny are out. This is Willie. Y'all coming back and holler at us. Fellas, life can be heavy. Balancing responsibilities, handling stress, and managing your mental health. It's not easy, but you don't have to carry it all alone. At Don't Jump Life Coach Solutions, We understand the unique challenges men face. I am Willie Epting Jr., a certified life coach, and I'm here to help you navigate life's pressures, build resilience, and regain control of your mental health. Take that first step forward to a stronger, healthier you. Call us at 469-358-5241 for your free consultation today. Balancing responsibilities, handling stress, and managing your mental health. Life can be heavy. I'm here to help you navigate handling stress and managing your mental health. Call us at 469-358-5241 for your free consultation today. It's not easy, but you don't have to carry it all alone. Take that first step forward to a stronger, healthier you. Don't jump Life Coach Solutions, because even the strongest men need support, and it starts here.
Ladies, life can get overwhelming, but you don't have to navigate it alone. At Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions, we specialize in helping women like you to regain clarity, confidence, and control. I'm Patrice Epting, a certified life coach, here to walk alongside you through life's toughest moments, whether it's relationships, mental health, or building a stronger mindset. Together, we'll create a plan tailored just for you to step into your best self. Take the first step today. Visit Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions by calling for your free consultation at 469-358-5241. You're strong, capable, and deserving of the life you dream of. Let's make it happen together. Visit Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions by calling for your free consultation at 469-358-5241. Whether it's relationships, mental health, or building a stronger mindset, visit Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions by calling for your free consultation at 469-358-5241. Don't Jump Life Coaching Solutions.
Welcome back to the third and final segment of this edition of the ShakeBack Sports Show, courtesy, of course, of the BGCSports Sports Network, and powered, of course, by the ShakeBack Media Group. It's your boy, Willie Epting Jr. Hold it down, man. Checking in my knockers. Dwayne, Donny, what's going on? Sports fans all over the globe. What it is, big day, the dopest engineer that I've ever known in my life. What is happening? Second segment, we talked about Jaylen Brown, and what did he say? Of course, he talked about Joel Embiid being a flopper, which I didn't have a problem with. But I'm going to pick up on that here in just a second, because I have some strong opinions about this NBA and these players complaining of these fouls or lack of foul calls that they think they should be getting. Before we move any further, this third and final segment is being brought to you by Lake Crest Casino and Hotel. Look, I don't know about you, but I could use a break from time to time. And what better way to spend it than at Lake Crest Casino and Hotel? Lake Crest Casino and Hotel is the ideal weekend getaway to unwind, explore, and enjoy. Located just 5 minutes from the Lake Murray exit at 29 off the 35 in Ardmore, Oklahoma. 89 hotel rooms, 20 full RV hookup sites, boutique shopping, the Oasis. You can go there as well, and you can dine at Lakeside Grill or grab a coffee and quick bites from Winning Picks Coffee and more. Or check out their full-service bar. Plus, they offer over 1,000 of the newest, most popular electronic games with 8 table games, giving players a nonstop action experience. Whether you're into fast-paced games or classic table favorites, Lake Crest Casino and Hotel has you covered. So why wait? Plan your getaway today. Book your stay at lakecrestcasino.com. Again, that is lakecrestcasino.com. I see you. I am _school318 watching on Instagram. We appreciate it. Thank you guys out there for checking us out on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and the aforementioned Instagram TV. Twitter is having some issues, and we're going to fight about that later. But be that as it may, let's continue forth as we got to continue on with this topic that I got to say this. These NBA players today, school, They make me sick. They make me sick with this flopping. They make me sick with this complaining. They make me sick with this, what about my call? Where's my call? They make me sick with this. And the reason why they make me sick with this is because they're all making $6 million a game, essentially. What are you complaining for? Because the NBA that I grew up, I got to sit up in my chair on this one. The NBA that I grew up watching and fell in love with was nothing like this. So when we speak of the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s, and stop there, the 2000s, all the way up into the upper 2000s. Let's stop there. We've seen the shift of how the game is played, from free flowing to not as much as free flowing to all out bloodbath in a wrestling ring or a hog pen to free flowing again. And now it's like, if you touch somebody and they break a nail, they're going to fall to the floor and collapse and scream for a call that they're not going to get. Well, I'm just saying that I remember when a flagrant foul was the result, or actually it resulted in people getting kicked out of games, people bleeding, people having knots on their heads, all those things. So why is it, Scoot, that these guys are so easily triggered on ticky-tack mess? I don't have much respect for them. I don't. I just do not. This is not the NBA that many of us, and I mean, I'm not even talking about people that are my age. I'm talking about people that may be in their 30s that understand what a real foul is. I remember saying whenever we would go and hoop at the park, yo, no blood, no foul. And we had to be our own referees. So, and I'm sure that at some point, these guys that are in today's NBA school, they played ball the way that we did, the way that I just described. I'm sure that they did. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in the position that they are now. So what gives? What makes them so entitled? Why is it that they have to flop around and scream and cry and all those things just to get a call? I don't understand it. And they're making 2, 3, 4, 5, 20 times the amount of money that these other cats were making. Yes, sir. The flopping has gotten out of hand, bro. These AAU babies soft out here now, bro. I couldn't have put it more perfectly. Couldn't have done it anymore, because AAU, in my opinion, has ruined basketball in terms of fundamentals, in terms of toughness, in terms of being able to be team players, in terms of being able to run a set offense. But no, too many people want to either dunk or pull up from 40. I think AAU is the blame for that. Shout out to everybody that's making money off them kids for doing it. But I think that has ruined the overall product. So when you have to have a rule in place in the National Basketball Association because of people flopping, teams and franchises tanking, when you have to have a rule in place that mandates any player to play a minimum of 65 games in a season just to qualify for postseason awards, that's a problem, man. That's a problem. Michael Jordan, 36 years old, played 82 games in one of his final seasons in Chicago. And these cats out here, the season starts in October, right? November, early November. They're off for 6 months. Some teams longer than that didn't make the playoffs. Why within the first week of the season you need time to rest? That, to me, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay, enough of the NBA. Let's get to some NFL, because We know that the draft has come and gone. OTAs and mini camps for rookies have commenced and completed. The next thing up are the OTAs for all players involved. Look, it won't be too much longer, guys, before we are able to say football season starts next month. Think about it. We will be able to say that in about 5 weeks. Football season starts next month. So obviously, the headlining thing from this past week or the end of this past week is the Pittsburgh Steelers and what 4+4 is going to do. And for all y'all don't know what 4+4 is, it is 8. And the number 8 is, of course, the number for one Aaron Rodgers, who will also be 43 years old by the time the season is either ending or coming close to an end. So the word came out, or has been leaking out rather, that his return to hashtag here we go is imminent. Who cares? I mean, really, who cares? And this is no disrespect to the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise, although I could really care little to nothing about them. This is no disrespect to, what up, Ryan? I see you, boy. Y'all better get here safe. This is no disrespect to the Pittsburgh Steelers and their fan base, but I don't really give two nickels about them either. What this is about is an aging quarterback who, for some reason, has never been able to capture the glory of his regular seasons and his regular season performances, and more even suitably, his MVP seasons when he won it 4 times. He has not been able to capture that in the postseason. But one time, once, the baddest man on the planet, according to some people, what Stephen A. likes to say, that bad man Aaron Rodgers. I haven't heard him say that in a while. This guy who is easily one of the most talented quarterbacks to ever lace him up in any league, whether it's college, USFL, World Football League, Pee Wee, Pop Warner, whatever. This dude has only been able to capture that magic once. Who cares? He's going to be a number one, or he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He is going to walk into the Hall of Fame with several records. But the two things that to me are going to stick out the most for Aaron Rodgers' legacy, not that he just won only one Super Bowl, but that when it came to playoff performances, particularly at Lambeau Field, how do you get played by Jimmy Garoppolo in the playoffs at Lambeau Field when the temperature was in the 20s or whatever it was? It's colder out there. It was colder then than it is in Dallas at the current moment. How does that happen? How does it happen when you have a team that you lead to a 15-1 record and the number 1 overall seed in the NFC and home field advantage throughout the playoffs and a first round bye, and the New York Giants, not the Giants, but whoever it was that beat them, I want to say it was the Giants, maybe in 2011, maybe, walk in there with Eli Manning and you lose to the Giants at Lambeau Field. How's that even? How does that work? And then there's all of the rumblings about what type of teammate he is, what type of leader he is. Who cares? As a matter of fact, I'll be glad when the dude is finally done. And even though for people like me, who I keep saying who cares, I don't mind saying who cares. I don't, because it's funny. Obviously, the Steelers are not going to be in any kind of contention to do much in the NFL this season anyway. Let's look at the division just for a quick moment. You know, a way too early look at the AFC Central, or the AFC North, rather. You have the Baltimore Ravens, who have Lamar Jackson, and they added Trey Hendrickson. They still have Derrick Henry. They still have Mark Andrews. They've upgraded their defense. They've got a brand new head coach and Coach Mentor. So you've got a new voice in which they said was needed as to why the Ravens weren't able to advance any further than they have, aside from the Super Bowl that they had a few years ago. So they have a brand new coach. You have the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow is coming back healthy. Hopefully for them, he can stay healthy. They also have Zach Taylor. They're the only team in that division that did not change head coaches. They upgraded their defense. They still have one of the best 3 wide receivers in the game and probably the best tandem in the game, arguably, with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. You have the Cleveland Browns, by all accounts, say what you will. That defense is real. They are real. They show you every year that they are real. Now, they've got some challenges. JOK has been ruled out already for the second consecutive season with the neck injury. Let's pray for him because that's a serious deal. They have a new coach as well. Deshaun Watson is supposedly going to be in the mix for the starting quarterback job, along with Shedeur Sanders, and I guess Dylan Gabriel is going to be somewhere in that mix as well. We'll see. And then you have the Steelers, who also have a new head coach, who have the oldest quarterback on the face of the globe, whose receiver core with DK Metcalf, and I forgot the other cat's name, but their running game hasn't been much. Their offensive line hasn't been much. The Steelers are going to take a step back this year, y'all. They are. They are. They are the team in that division that got worst, the most, and the fastest. Every other team in that nation, or in, I see Flock Nation from school. Every other team in that division got better. They did. Say what you will about the Browns, because what they have on defense automatically puts them in that conversation. That is a Super Bowl winning caliber defense. So what's going to happen in Pittsburgh with Aaron Rodgers? Again, I say, who cares? And speaking of caring, I got to carry myself on out of here because that's the end of the show. Up next, the big homie, Donald Ware from Press Box to Press Row. I'm sorry, Box to Row with Donald Ware. Y'all make sure y'all check him out. For the dopest engineer in the game, Big Day. For the knockers, Donny and Dwayne. It's your boy Willie. Y'all take care of each other. Happy Mother's Day out there, everybody. All the women, all the ladies out there. Y'all take care of each other. Y'all hug each other. And I promise it's going to be all right. And we will holler at y'all again real soon. Peace. We out.